What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, another D and Dual commentary, full match. Playing Black Wings here. It's probably my favorite deck of the format right now, but I've got about 4 decks that I really like playing. I'm going second, and I have a pretty reactive hand: Evac, Bora, Cards of Black Feathers, Icarus, and Blizzard. None of those are cards you just want to throw out there turn 1, to be honest. My opponent summons Harpy Queen, and then he activates Historic Sign. Now, I know that gives you the Elegant Egotist, but I played like a Harpy deck like a long time ago, and he ended up like searching like 3 more cards off of it. They were like Randy like Harpy Lady shit, and I was like, what is he doing? Like, that shit is broke. So anyways, he activates Elegant Egotist to get himself a Harpy Queen, and I'm kind of thinking like, why would he do that if he's not going to exceed? And I was like, okay, he sets 2 in his back row. One of them has to be Icarus. I don't know a lot about Harpies, but I do know that they run 3 Icarus just like Black Wings. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I thought about, you know, summoning the Bora and just trying to Icarus him, but I figured I'm gonna get Icarus, and that would set up a Blizzard play. But then I wouldn't have any monsters for Black Feathers, so I just go ahead and I'm gonna pitch my Blizzard for Cards for Black Feathers. I draw Duality and Book of Moon, and I activate Duality. The Phoenix Chain's no good. The Bottomless is no good, but the Sirocco is fantastic because if he has an Icarus attack, which I believe he does, he probably doesn't have any more adequate defense. I accidentally sent my Blizzard back to my deck. I don't really think that it mattered. But anyways, I'm thinking that if I summon this Sirocco and I just try and run over his Harpy Queen, that he won't be able to respond. If not, he'll have to blow up his own cards with his Icarus. So, you know, I'm just going to see if I can get this attack through because, I put him on at least 1 Icarus. And I'm successful. A lot of people, you know, they set Icarus, and if you just kind of summon 1 monster and attack, they can't really do much. So now I'm just going to load up my back row, expecting to get Icarus in the end phase. And of course he does that. He ends up hitting my 2 Icarus attacks, so I am now Icarus-less. And we're just going to have to play with the defense of Evac and Book of Moon, which is pretty decent. You know, it's not great, not bad. I've got 2 proactive cards. He activates Gold Sark, and I'm assuming he's going to get Tempest because it's an all-win deck, and Tempest goes in there, and obviously it lets you go +1. So I'm looking at him either getting a second copy of Tempest or getting something else. He searches the Breed Dragon with the effect, and I'm thinking that he's just going to try and wall up because he doesn't have anything in his graveyard he can use, but he can sit on that 2,000 defense until he gets his Tempest. However, I drew the perfect out to that. I drew Shura, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to activate Sirocco. I'm going to pump up my Shura, and I'm going to run that 2,000 ass over. And then obviously I'll be able to trigger Shura's effect. Now, if he didn't have anything to stop the last attack, chances are he doesn't have anything now. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks to be him. But, I mean, that card was technically free for him anyway. But, you know, Shura goes +1 for me, and that's definitely a good position. So I'm going to get Gale. I can't attack with it, but since my Sirocco randomly lived, I can make a level 8 Synchro. I'm going to make Stardust here, but looking back, I made a big mistake. What I think I should have did is I should have made Void Ogre Dragon. I should have specialed the Bora. I should have made Master Key Beetle, and then I should have put a counter on the Void Ogre Dragon having no hand. I'd have been able to negate spells and traps every turn, and knowing that my Key Beetle would have been protecting the Void Ogre Dragon in my back row too. So anyways, I'm just going to attack with Stardust. He has that little Dragoonity tuner thing. I know his attack is like 100, but he has like 2,000 defense, and all people do with that shit is just use it for cards of consonants anyway. So I drew a Phoenix Chain, so now my back row is looking really, really good, you know, and Tempest can't get over Stardust, which is one of the biggest reasons why I feel comfortable with my position right now, because I have a bunch of back row, and because he can't get over my Stardust. Now see, that Harpy's Hunting Ground actually hurts, and if I had Void Ogre Dragon plus Key Beetle, that would have been something that I would have obviously negated. He summons his little Harpy Lady chick. I think that's the one that summons a level 7 straight from the deck, Harpy Chandler. I know, yeah, I mean, it's something, she has something like that. I know she's like an instant Draco Sack, which is like, to me it seems like the best play that the deck has, like, or one of the best plays. So he's going to summon Tempest, and he's looking to get over Shura. I'm not going to waste any more removal on the Tempest, like the Phoenix Chain, the book. I'm just going to let him run the Shura over because, you know, he has more cards in his graveyard to summon Tempest. So I mean, using removal on it, that's just like getting rid of a temporary problem. I just have to eat those attacks, to be honest. That's the thing about dragons. I mean, sometimes you just have to take attacks. But I top deck Blizzard, which was like, oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! But he has a Fat Veiler. Now, I kind of think for a minute, because if I book my Blizzard, obviously the effect would still go, and then I could summon Bora, and I could, maybe go into like a rank 4 or something like that. I'm thinking about summoning Bora and just going into a 6, but none of those plays seem that great. Like, I'm thinking maybe I should just make Master Key Beetle, and then I'm just like, nah, I'm not going to waste my Book of Moon. I'm just going to kind of ride this out. So I attack for 100 over the Tempest, and I attack for 13 more 100, knowing that if nothing else, he'll summon Tempest next turn and run my Blizzard over. But, I'm just like, all right, I'll eat that. He summons the Harpy Chandler back, and I Book of Moon it because he targeted Book of Moon for Harpy's Hunting Ground. So I'm like, this is great. He keeps targeting shit that's chainable, so I'm like, fantastic. Yeah, he's looking at his graveyard. He's removing Harpy Queen and Harpy Cyber Harpy to summon Tempest, and he's gonna run over the Blizzard again. But if I'm not mistaken, he only has like one more. Yeah, he only has one more wind in his graveyard, so he can only get Tempest out one more time if I kill his face down monster, which of course I will. Now he has no more monsters, so I feel like I'm in really good position. I top deck Zephyros, which is really good because I have Phoenix Chain set, so now I feel like I've got to go on offense. I special to Bora, and I'm kind of like forced into doing an Exceed play here, at least for main phase 2 anyway. But I think I'm just going to go in and try and push for some quick damage, and then I'm going to Exceed in main phase 2. And that piercing goes in, it comes in handy a lot this format, to be honest, against Scapegoats and Dracossack tokens and just all types of weird shit. That 1300 defense, so I get a little bit of damage there. I get 100 more on the Tempest, and then I get a free 16 from the Zephyros. And now is when I finally make Master Key Beetle, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on my Phoenix Chain, knowing that I get 2 uses out of Phoenix Chain because I'm going to detach the Zephyros. Like, that's why Zephyros is really, really one of the best monsters in this deck, strictly because you can bounce so much stuff like Whirlwind and Bora and Phoenix Chain. And I looked at Diamond Direwolf for a second, and then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what am I going to pop with that? So anyways, I make Master Key Beetle, and yeah, I'm going to get rid of Zephyros, and I'm going to put it on my face down card. So obviously his Harpy's Hunting Ground cannot pop it. And I'm not really sure if he has many options here. I mean, he can summon Tempest one more time, but it can't get over anything. So he just scoops it up. So now I'm looking through, and obviously I want to get those MSTs in because that Harpy's Hunting Ground shit was like mad annoying. And I usually side out Vayu, but I think I'm looking at my Mirror Forces, yeah, because I don't want them just popping those. So I side in MSTs, and I'm just pretty content on that. I'm going second once again, and let's see what type of hand I get. I get MST, Duality, Dark Arm, Zephyros, and Blizzard. This is a hand that's much better for going second, I would definitely say. Alright, so he opens with Sarko. He's going to obviously search Tempest, which will get him... I mean, he has a bunch of cards. He can get another Tempest. He can get Debris Dragon. He can get Little Dragunity Tuner guy. Yeah, I think those might be the only ones. Anyways, he gets another Tempest. So with my hand, Icarus attack can make this hand really, really good. He activates Cards of Consonance. He gets rid of a Debris Dragon, so that's probably why he didn't search it. If he didn't have it, he would have searched it with Tempest. He activates Duality, so I mean the dude is like really going through his deck. So this is probably not good because my hand it's not really that strong. He gets Harpy Hunting Ground, but I do have MST, so my MST is instantly live, and considering I sided MST in strictly for that card, I feel good about my position right now. It's going to take me a little work to potentially drop that Dark Arm though. But I'm not really seeing any monsters, and he just ends up setting 1. So I'm going to obviously dig for Duality. I'm looking for a Whirlwind or for like an Icarus attack, something like that. Something that can, get my Zephyros into the graveyard really, really quickly. so that I can use it for Blizzard and I can use his effect later. And I find an Icarus attack. I'm going to put the Sirocco and the Vayu back in the deck. And yeah, I'm just going to summon an attack. I mean, Zephyros is a pretty expendable monster. Bottomless is at 1. Nobody plays Deep Prison anymore, so I mean, I feel like Zephyros is just a card where when you get that dude, you just extend as much as possible and you let your opponent try and kill it, and then you just try and reuse it. I'm not gonna set the MST. I'm just gonna set the Icarus attack just in case he happens to, I don't know, try and like overextend or something like that. I mean, I guess it really didn't matter, but he just passed his turn, so I'm just like, okay. Now I end up top decking the Whirlwind, which makes my position really, really good because now I'm going to get a free Kalut and I've got a ton of damage on board. So he kind of knows that he's on the clock right now. Anytime your opponent has Zephyros plus Bora and they just search the Kalut, I mean, I'm looking at doing what, 33,000 plus a Kalut on top. That's 45 right there potentially. 800 more if you add a Dark Strike, which would be what, 53. So yeah. Now in main phase 2, curiosity gets the better of me, and I'm just like, all right, I gotta MST that card and see what the fuck it is. It's not an MST because if it was an MST, he would have MST'd my Whirlwind. So I'm like, maybe it's an Icarus attack, and I'm like, or maybe it's, I couldn't imagine what else that deck plays, so I just assumed it was Icarus attack. He plays his Harpy's Hunting Ground, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't really have a reason to Icarus, and he summons his Harpy Chandler chick. And he's looking, I was hoping he'd try and pop my face down, but he takes the free card. He takes the Whirlwind, which for the most part it served its purpose. It got my Kalut. Now, yeah, that's the chick that I was talking about. She's the one that makes Dracossack. It says that you can discard one Harpy card to special summon another Harpy Lady and face up defense. And yeah, I guess he doesn't use the effect. He ends up searching, or he ends up summoning Tempest, and it looks like he's going to try and go for a 7. And he can't activate the Tempest that he removed, which is like really good because he summoned it in the same turn. Now I flip over, I'm about to flip over Icarus because I was so sure that he was making Dracossack, but he summoned Master of Blades, which I thought about it and it's like, okay, I can't Icarus it, but you can't attack because I have a Kalut. So it's like, what the fuck are you gonna do? And yeah, during his end phase, I just Icarus attack him. I'm obviously looking at getting some of his back row cards. He can keep his little Hunting Ground. I end up popping a Solemn Warning, and I guess he realizes the writing is on the wall, because he just scoops it up. I still felt good about my position. Even if he didn't scoop, I could have just attacked using Kalut. I still had Dark Arm. I still had a Zephyros bounce, so I had a bunch of different options for just getting rid of Master of Blades and then just like going apeshit on this field. And I guess he figured out that he didn't have a way to get around Kalut, and he just ends up scooping. So kind of a ending there that was like, it kind of sucked. But thank you guys for watching as always, and take care.